What is new at this year's festival? What makes the difference this year? Just tell us what's your favorite in this whole paradise that we created for 1 week.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome, and we are very happy that you are all here. So, why is this festival different than many others? We are already at one of those venues. Why it makes it different? This is the Eastern European Fun Fair, and it is like a small time machine. If we talk about this, you can get back to the 60s and the 70s, or even the 80s, when there were so many regulations, especially in this part of the world, in Central and Eastern Europe. So this is a time machine, but in a fun way. That's why it's a fun part, because we are at the festival and we don't want to be sad. We want to have fun and we want to enjoy ourselves, and that's what we want to have our guests to enjoy themselves. But if you come to this little time machine, you can travel back in time, and you can do everything what is not prohibited. I leave it up to you to decide. But you have to come here, you have to come back here and to try all the games and experience the flair of this beautiful and colorful place.
But is that like a sexual statement, or it's everything not prohibited, daytime activities, you mean?
Do you want to open up this question now, my dear?
I'm trying to be the active moderator, you know, and I watch TV, and that's the sort of questions that are coming. You just
no. I give you an example. Good question. He's a good guy. Good question, because also to tell you another information, and I include your question. This year is 45 years that the Woodstock Festival was happening for the very first time. And we here at Sziget, we feel a little bit like Woodstock. So, my message to you, if you are open-minded enough, and I guess you are because you are here, so I don't really care what your sexual orientation is, do everything what is prohibited.
And love, not war, of course.
To talk about the other colors and the soul and the heart of this festival, also the colors of this festival. If you wander around, I hope you discovered many of these small street theaters, also the ones that were welcoming you here before the press conference. We have many of these small companies coming from all over Europe that are wandering around the festival. They don't have a fixed place, but they usually start their journey from the Eastern European Fun Fair. But we also have giant street theaters, and just in front of the A38 tent, you can see a big, sleeping silver dragon. Right now he is sleeping, but every evening at night at 11 p.m. he wakes up, and he has fire in his heart and around him. And there are some brave knights who are protecting you guys and our audience from this hungry dragon. This year we also have a new venue. It's called the Art Zone. It's a place where we have many small but great companies who are bringing here loads of contemporary art, homemade, handmade stuff, and the whole area is also a colorful place that is not a musical venue. Also a place like this is the circus venue. It's called Cirque du Sziget. Yes, it's a play with words. I'm sure you all know Cirque du Soleil, but this is Cirque du Sziget. And it's our venue where we have our new circus productions. But also a new venue like this is our Europe stage, where we feature European talent, bands coming from all over Europe that are already known in their country, but maybe never have performed yet in Hungary. And I would like to stress out also our Magic Mirror. This is our gay and lesbian and queer venue. Yes, we take care of this subculture as well. And I'm very proud that we have this at the festival. Last but not least, I would like to talk also about the Fidelio Culture Zone that is here just behind us. It's our venue for contemporary dance, contemporary theater, our singer-songwriters, and since last year, but also this year, we have a slot between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. where we show you real opera. We have a cooperation with the Hungarian National Opera House, and you have the real singers here with some decoration, but it is like the contrast to, let's say, the 838 or the main stage, that yes, we can have opera on such a giant festival. Oh, and one more thing, sorry, very important. The World Village venue. It's a new venue that we have established this year out of the world music stage that we had the last year or the years before. Our beloved Roma tent and the Afro-Latin reggae stage, we united them in one. So it is now one big stage, and the whole area is called World Village. It is a bit, so it's on the other side of the festival, but it is a very colorful and a beautiful place and a melting pot for world cultures that are here at the festival.
So the tricky project that we try to fulfill is combining mass experience, giant, huge festival that you see with the friendly family atmosphere that we are still chasing in some ways, and we just try to make sure there is a combination of a huge main stage of several tens of thousands of capacity, or even smaller venues like the campfire venue where it's just a few hundred people, but they can really feel the, how to say, the atmosphere that we are also chasing. So that's actually the main challenge towards us, trying to make sure we can keep these small venues and still create them to be part of the mass experience. That's actually Sziget Festival today. A few questions from you. The question number one, and these are like no bullshit questions, so no bullshit answers, please. So how many are there at the festival this year? How many fans can we see around us?
We will know the exact number by the end of Sunday, of course, so we cannot tell you the exact figure, but what we know is that we sold over 50,000 passes for the week, so weekly passes, and altogether we calculate that the visitor number will go over 400,000, which is a quite good figure for us. And we had also the best day already. It was Thursday, and besides the rain, there were like 85,000 people on the island on that day. So these are the figures we know already.
I see we have something going on in terms of numbers, so let's continue with the total budget.
You're doing good.
An honest one, please.
What we calculated for this year as a total budget is 12 million euros. So the whole Sziget Festival's budget, together with all the parts and all the building up and the structures and all the booking fees and everything, is all together 12 million. Out of this, 4 million euros went for programming. So that's the programming budget of Sziget Festival. We spent about the same amount, about 4 million euros on the infrastructure. This means from the toilets to the stages, everything. And Karol talked about a lot that it's a special project in the last 4 or 5 years that we spend a lot on decoration, which is not really infrastructure, but something extra, like statues, or if you walk around, you will see lots of things which are not just stages, but something extra on it, like art. For example, we have a budget for that, about 2 million euros. We have a 1 million euro budget for non-musical program, so other programs than music. And of course, we spend a lot on marketing. Maybe not so much as other festivals. It's also about 1 million euros what we spend on marketing. So that's how the 12 million euros come together.
Realize that it's not just the lineup, because even our pre-sales, our advance sales, already in December, January, February, when our lineup was not known, it still looked stronger than ever before. Like, okay, what could be the reason if it's not the program? In the last few years, our host city Budapest is more and more popular amongst tourists. So it's not necessarily linked with Sziget that more and more young adults actually want to come here to check out the city. So we just give a really good reason for them to combine a city holiday with a festival holiday. So we think factor number two is reason number two is the fact that Budapest itself is becoming a cooler place in the last few years. The visual experience you get once you enter the festival, and we just realized it took time for the people to understand what it's all about. It's basically something you cannot really promote with marketing or PR. It's something you have to feel. You have to come here. You have to realize how that looks, how that feels. Social media and the technology is helping us big time, because now we don't necessarily have to explain what it's all about. A lot of people are with their smartphones in their hands, basically creating a lot of contents all throughout the week, sharing it with their friends and showing around. Showing the festival to all their circles who might not be here. So. Technological development is again one of these reasons that is really helping our cause. And I think the next cool question could be, how long does it take to organize Sziget? Do we already organize the next one? Do we already have some big names for the next one? You want that, Tamás? I see in your eyes.
I do.
Okay, please go ahead.
The organization of the festival is basically an ongoing process. So all of our colleagues, we work together 50 in the office, so it's 50 people during the whole year. They walk around and see what we could do better, what is working well, what is not so good, where we should improve. And then we make a big meeting somewhere September. For 3 days we go together, which is of course partly meeting, partly party. And there we speak a lot in details about the festivals we do, and then from September on we start to implement what we decide on that big get-together. Also, we started already to negotiate about next year's headliners and bands, but it's a long process. So if I knew someone, I wouldn't tell you.
Something I would ask from Károly. We have to realize there are more and more electronic music acts also on Sziget main stage. How much is the landscape changing? Are we really moving Sziget towards like an e-music festival, or is it somewhere at the time or at the ratio which it will stay like, or what's gonna be the future in terms of live music or and e-music? How will the future Sziget look like? He's more old school from that way. Well, on the other hand, he has to realize he's not organizing a festival for himself, he's organizing a festival for the fans, and nowadays there's a clear demand from festival fans that more and more electronic artists should be on stage and should be possibly on the main stage. So we, in some ways, we just have to go with the flow, of course keeping our own identity, but we don't want to like stress out and be too pushy about our own personal musical taste. We just want to make sure that people who come here are happy, and at the same time, of course, we try to act like a sort of opinion leader festival. So it's a cool way to get here somebody who is like mainly interested in an electronic music performer, but then we can open up his mind and show some other genres, maybe show a theater event or even or a circus, as Frugina is just telling me. So actually the whole thing is about trying to get the people here and trying to open up their minds, and then we just see anything is possible. And if it's electronic music that gets some more people, then we are happy to have electronic music as well. That actually we have events that focus on electronic music, so it's we just believe that Sziget is still more about live music. We just want to make sure the ratio is still staying true to the core values of Sziget, and we just try to make sure it's really a Sziget for everyone. Let me go on.
Bocsánat, csak azt nem mondtad el, hogy melyik rendezvény, ami elektronikus zenei rendezvény, mert azt nem biztos. De én mondtam a nevét, csak azt nem biztos, hogy tudják.
I forgot to say the name of our electronic event. It's Balaton Sound, of course. But there's also another one called Be My Lake, which is an underground electro event. So, I mean, hey, we are trying to move on with the time, and we are trying to be open. So, make sure you don't misunderstand us, because this is quite a frequent question. So, what's the deal with Budapest? What's our cooperation with the city? Are we friends? Are we enemies? Are we happy? Are we sorry for each other? Tell us about it.
We have only friends out there. So it's we have this year and last year we have a quite normal and good relationship with the city of Budapest. Of course, it's not easy to have a festival in the heart of a big metropolis like Budapest. I mean, 2 million people are living around us, quite close. So we have lots of regulations we have to keep about the sound limits. We have lots of regulations to keep because we have like, I don't know, 10,000s of tourists coming to one point of the city. But yeah, we have a good relationship with the city. I think they also like the idea to have so many tourists in 1 week or 10 days around the festival. It helps the city a lot. And for us, it's also a great opportunity to have the festival in a city which is so beloved by tourists, so they can compare their visit to Budapest with the festival. Yeah. And we have special products or cooperation products with Budapest together, which is called the City Pass. You might know it and you might have it, which allows our visitors to use the public transport for free, to use the special Sziget boats and come with boat to Sziget, and price reductions in museums and other touristic places in Budapest. So this is, I think, a very good cooperation with the city right now.
Károly, we think it's an important question to answer, that's why we didn't want to skip it. People often compare Sziget to Tomorrowland. Do you feel it's a real competition?
Egyrészt most nem tudom, itt vannak-e közöttünk, de tegnap találkoztam a Tomorrowland szervezőkkel.
First of all, there were some of the Tomorrowland organizers here yesterday. We are not sure they are still here today, but Károly was also talking to them personally about this, that he personally takes a lot of inspiration from the attitude of Tomorrowland, bringing all the visual experience into a huge festival. So that's something we want to really give them as a credit. It's a great novelty. It's a great new attitude that they brought into the world of festivals. Of course, Tomorrowland is more about electronic music, so it's more about one genre, while Sziget is a lot more open towards basically all the styles of music. So in this sense, it's not comparable. To really get back to answering that question. On the other hand, of course, we put a lot of effort into our own visual experience as well. And the other thing is that like the original idea of Sziget already included a lot of the visual arts, including the luminarium or the labyrinth. Like 18-20 years ago, these were actually already present at our festival. So it's not a new thing that we just had this included in the festival. What's maybe a new thing is that we try to put more energy, put more effort in it, and of course try to talk more about it.